Most English learners focus on grammar and vocabulary, but that's not what exactly makes them sound fluent. What makes someone sound natural is tone and how they phrase what they mean. Because in English, the same idea could sound aggressive, awkward, or very polished. And this all depends on how you phrase it. So in this video, I'm going to show you how fluent speakers shift their tone in everyday conversations, especially when they need to express doubt, disagree, ask questions, or give feedback. And once you start implementing these small shifts, your English will start sounding more intentional and confident. Let's start with something that most English learners struggle with, and that's disagreeing. A lot of English learners may say something like this: I disagree with you. It's very direct and straightforward. And grammatically, it's correct, but it sounds very blunt in English, and it can cause tension if the other person doesn't receive it well. Fluent speakers often soften their disagreements by adding perspective language to it. Let me show you what I mean. I may be looking at it differently. We may not be on the same page. I don't share the same point of view as you. That interpretation doesn't quite align with the information that we have. It seems a bit inconsistent with the details we've seen. I'm not sure that fully reflects the vision that we had imagined. I'm not fully convinced by that conclusion yet. I think we may need a little bit more evidence before settling on a conclusion. We should probably revisit this to ensure that it aligns with our goals. Do you notice something really important here? Fluent speakers rarely say you are wrong. Instead, they shift their focus to showcasing their perspective, sharpening their interpretation, and providing a valid reason behind it. You want to challenge the idea and not the person. And that's what will make you sound more fluent and natural in what you're trying to state. Now, here's another moment where tone really matters, and it's whenever something is confusing. You might learn the textbook version of it by saying, it's confusing, or that doesn't make sense. And again, it's grammatically correct, but in English that can sound a bit dismissive in certain conversations or contexts. So instead, fluent speakers, they like to signal curiosity in their response. For example, it's not really clicking with me. I'm struggling to connect the dots here. Can you help me understand this better? I wonder if there's a less complicated approach. I'm struggling to see the link between these 2 points. I'm really trying to piece this together, but it's not clear for me. Do you see the difference? You're still saying the same thing, which is, I don't understand, but instead of sounding frustrated or implying a bit of a negative tone, you sound more engaged and thoughtful. And that tone will completely shift how people perceive your English. And here's another common situation for you to know. Someone asks you a question and you need some time to think about it. I know it's natural to say, I need to think. And that's a great classic statement to stick to. However, if you want to buy more time with a bit of an elegant touch, here's a few examples. That's an interesting point. Let me think about it for a second. I never considered that before. I may need to marinate on it a bit. I haven't fully formed an opinion on that yet. Those are really valid points for me to think about or reflect on. I need to give a bit more thought before giving you a concrete answer. I will revisit this point with you after I have some time to process it a bit more. Do you notice what's happening here? You're not just saying, I need time. You're framing the pause more thoughtfully. That makes you sound way more confident in English conversations. Now, let's say someone proposes an idea, but you think there might be a better opinion. A very direct response would be something like, that's not the best solution. Again, correct English, but it's a bit harsh and strongly too opinionated for my taste. Fluent speakers, I notice that they tend to meet people in the middle of their opinion and not necessarily disregard the point of view right away. For example, I wonder if there might be another way to proceed. Something that is more streamlined, or you can fill in the blanks. Maybe we can combine our ideas and consider another approach. Would it make more sense to explore a different option here? I'm not sure it will get the results that we want to achieve. I have some doubts that it will lead to a different impact than we're looking for. One alternative that we could consider is, how about we adjust the idea a bit by changing this or adding this? I'm not against the idea, but I think we could spruce it up by adding this or changing this. As you can see, these phrases do something very important here. They turn the conversation into a shared problem-solving moment, instead of purely judging someone or trying to correct them on something without any fair reasoning behind it. And that's why these phrases, they sound more natural and they resonate better because they're so adaptable and useful in so many conversations. Here's the big idea. Fluent English is not about what you say. It's really about how you frame your thoughts. Native speakers, they constantly adjust their tone depending on the situation. They may soften their ideas, but they still stay firm with their point of view. They may show curiosity, but yet they still exude a lot of confidence. They may signal collaboration, but they still appear like a thoughtful leader. And those subtle shifts are what makes your English sound more fluid, receptive, and natural in so many different contexts, personally and professionally. So if you want to sound more fluent and natural in English, don't just learn the vocabulary, learn how to reshape your tone. Because sometimes the difference between sounding too direct, closed off, or very polished is just one small shift in phrasing. And if you want more examples like this, I post a lot of YouTube shorts breaking down real English tones every week. So make sure to subscribe to my channel if you want to keep upgrading your English voice.